I went to school in a place in California when I was in the Navy, and they taught me Chinese Mandarin. I was there for 2.5 years. I took a whole year of basic Chinese, and then I took a year of intermediate Chinese. And I learned how to speak Chinese, to read Chinese, and to write it somewhat. But I'm better at speaking it and reading it. But China, if you look, they use pictures instead of letters like we do. And they're one of the last few languages that still use pictograms. And it's kind of neat because sometimes in the pictures you can see, like for China, their name is Zhongguo, and Zhong means middle. And if you look, there's a square with a line right down the middle, Zhongguo, because they consider themselves the middle nation, and that's what that means, middle nation. And we are Meiguo, and Mei means beautiful, and we are the beautiful nation. And a lot of times they'll take a sound in a word for like America, and they'll take the M sound and make it Meiguo so that it sounds better for the Chinese. But when the New Year comes, they say Happy New Year, which in Chinese is Xin Nian Kuai Le. And the pinyin probably won't help you much, but it's Xin Nian Kuai Le. Now Chinese also, they have tones, which makes their language kind of sing-songy up and down. For instance, you can listen to the tones when I'll speak. I'll say 我姓马，我的名字叫克钦，我是在1975年5月27号在乔治亚州生的，我不知道生在哪里，而且是在哪里长大的。我的家里一共有8个人，有我父母、我妹妹和除了我以外，他们都还住在乔治亚州。But there's a lot of tones in there, and for Happy New Year, 新年快乐, and then there's 恭喜发财. 恭喜发财 means may you live long and be prosperous and be wealthy. So they say that at the New Year. They'll say 新年快乐, which is Happy New Year, and they'll say 恭喜发财. But yeah. Does anybody want to go to China when they get older?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah?
I used to go Chinese all the time.
Yeah, China, I know, I heard Mrs. Beck say that China, that a lot of people, there's over 1.3 billion people, and there's only a little over, I think, 6 billion people in the world. So 1 out of every 5 people in the world considers themselves to be Chinese, and they speak Mandarin. So that's a lot when you think about it. And China's growing. It's a really big country. I wish I had a map I could show you guys everything.
Look in the book.
But in the book,
Yeah, see if this book will help you.
this one,
Uh-huh.
it's a big world. Oh,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that'd be
Maybe
great.
it would be in there.
Yep. I bet it would be.
Or you know what else? If it's not in there. I heard somebody say.
Oh, here's China.
Is it there?
Now, if you look, this is actually, they call this the Europe. It's Europe. This is Europe. And this is Asia. And they call this the Eurasian landmass. And China starts up here where it borders Russia. And then you've got, it borders Korea, the Shandong Peninsula. This is Shanghai. That's where their biggest seaport is. Shanghai literally means on the sea, is the name of the Shanghai. All the way down to Hong Kong, which actually the Chinese is Xianggang, which means fragrant harbor. And all the way down to, what's the name of the island down there? But if you look, China goes all the way back to here. And you have India here. And what's interesting to know is India has 1 billion people. China has 1.3. So over a third of the entire world live right here in this area. But also, here you have the world's highest mountains, the Himalayas. They also continue up into a sea, and they come around this area right here. And up along here, the mountains are just as high as the Himalayas. And in Chinese, they're called Tian Shan, which literally means the mountains of heaven. Because when you go up and you see the mountains, you'll see these big, tall, purple mountains, and then at the top of them, they're all covered in clouds. And then what looks like they're floating up in the air, you'll see these white peaks. In the Chinese, they call them the mountains of heaven because of that. And then there's a huge desert out here. You got the Gobi Desert, but then out here is the Taklamakan Desert. And a long time ago, this used to be a real big inland lake. But as the Himalayas rose up, it brought all that up and everything dried up. But China has 3 big rivers. It has the Pearl River. Well, hold on. No, it doesn't have that. This is the Long River, the Changjiang, or as they say, the Yangtze River. And then the Yellow River, Honghe. But it's really, both of these rivers have meant a lot to China because every year the Yellow River would flood. Not every year, but maybe once every 10, 20 years it'd flood really bad and all the land would be covered with water. And a lot of people, they had nothing to eat and they suffered a lot because of that. So to this day in China, it's considered very rude to turn down food and turn down the opportunity to eat. So anytime someone offers you food, you should always accept it and say thank you. But, anybody have any questions?
Me.
What?
But the China I go to, it has pizza.
Oh, yeah.
And chicken on a stick and noodles.
Yeah.
Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, Chinese restaurants are
And
good.
they have all kinds of fruit and cookies.
Mm-hmm. Those are my favorite. What's your question?
On Halloween, I saw an Indian guy.
An Indian guy? Was he like cowboy Indian guy or was he from India Indian guy?
He's an Indian.
From India, yeah. How did you know that he was Indian?
Because we had a flashlight.
Oh, okay. What's your question?
If you remember,
Ninjas know how to
You want to know about ninjas and martial arts?
Ninjas know how to do karate.
Yes.
But
Yes.
that's why I like
I bet Hayden's daddy knows how to.
Yeah, a little bit. Martial arts, all the martial arts, whether it's in Japan, Korea, all the Asian countries, martial arts are where they learn how to fight using mostly just their fists. And a lot of times, the government wouldn't let the people have any weapons, so they learned how to use the tools that they worked with, as an axe or a hammer or even a rake or a hoe or just a long stick. They learned how to fight with them. And learning how to fight with those, they called those martial arts. But in Japan, it's karate. In Korean, it's Tong Sudo. And in Chinese, it's Gong Fu Dao. But they all mean the same. They're just said differently, but it's all the same characters. So.
Mrs. Beck, maybe we could have him tell us everything he made too.
What
Hayden's dad made all kinds of food for you.
Oh, it looks yummy. What did you make?
I made spring rolls, which they're pork spring rolls, and they should be pretty good.
Wow.
And I made what the Chinese call pot stickers. They're dumplings. And if you look, they're a lot like ravioli, but it's because the Italians, all the pasta that they eat today came when Marco Polo came back from China. He brought pasta to Italy, and so that's why a lot of people think that Chinese, copied the Italians, but it's the other way around. But there's the pot stickers. They're good. They have pork in them too. And then I made chicken fried noodles, chicken chow mein.
Yummy.
So.
And Emily's mom brought us rice and fortune cookies, and Nina's mom brought us all the pretty plates and placemats. And
Wow, that is so cool.
The plates are nice. They say Xin Nian Kuai Le, Happy New Year on them.
Can we say that? Can you tell us one more time? How do we say that?
Xin
Shin,
Nian
Nian,
Kuai
Kwai,
Le.
Le.
Xin Nian
Shin, Nian,
Kwai Le.
Kwai Le.
And today is Chinese New Year.
Yes. It's the year of the monkey, the
Monkey.
red fire monkey.
Ooh, red fire monkey, because red's a lucky ducky color in China.
I love it. I love red.
So, friends, what do we want to tell Hayden's daddy?
Thank you.
And he was on the Navy. When you're in the Navy, do you fly on a plane or do you ride on a ship?
I did a little bit of both. I flew in planes, and I rode on ships, and I rode on submarines.
Wow.
So I got to do a little bit of everything with that.
Do you guys know what a submarine is?
Yeah, I do.
What can you tell us what it is, Easton? Tell Hayden's daddy so he can tell you if he's right.
A submarine goes underwater with propellers with people with
Yes,
it.
it does.
Wow, awesome. And you rode on one of those, huh?
Yeah. In a submarine, they have something that they use to let them see out of the water when they're underwater. Do you know what that's called?
An excavator out and jackhammer.
No.
But when they go under sea, I watched it plays on that.
Oh, sometimes they do that, yes. But they have what's called a periscope. It's a tube that comes up, and it's got like a camera, and it's got a lens, and they can be underwater, and they can see all around through the periscope.
In case the bad guys are coming.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That is way cool. What do you think? Did you ride on one of those boats that has the airplanes that can fly off of them?
Yes, I did. I rode on the USS Independence when it was stationed in Yokosuka, Japan, before they decommissioned it.
How neat is that, friends? Hayden's daddy made history in the Navy. That is so neat.
I'm
And you
gonna
learned
go
how to
to
cook all
Real
this stuff in the Navy too.
Really soon.
Wow, that is really neat. Anybody else have a question?
Me.
Okay, Manny, what's your question?
I'm gonna go to the Real Salvation Army really soon.
Are you? That would be
Yeah,
very
and there's something else. Like soldiers ride in the airplane, and somebody shoots them. The airplanes fly off.